Okay, so we're going to start now. So welcome. We just have one participant was joined. The rest will be joining shortly. So we're all welcome to another edition of the Edge Live webinar, a monthly webinar where we invite professionals to talk about business and business management processes. So this month we have another professional in our midst who will be talking to us about compensation and benefits, how we can leverage this to improve productivity of our businesses and our workforce. She is the person of Mrs. Akirile Titilope. She is the People and Culture Manager at FairMoney. Before she comes up to discuss with us, just a bit of housekeeping rules. After our presentation, we'll have questions. And so you can have your questions written down somewhere in a notepad, or you can just type them in the chat box. So all participants can chat. You just type them in the chat box, and after our presentation, and when it's time for Q&A, we take the questions one by one, and we try as much as possible to answer all of them. We also have some questions that has been reserved already beforehand, which I will be asking also from here to make the conversation interesting after our presentation. And of course, if there are points that you find interesting, you can always put in the chat box just to keep the energy up. So I'll be starting first with a poll to meet all of us as we join and listen to Titilope as she starts her presentation. So I'll be launching the poll now, just a few questions. So we can just quickly answer that as I'll be calling on Titi now to give her presentation. So Titi, you have our ears and eyes too.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Am I allowed to take part in the poll? Can I quickly answer?
Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can take part in the poll and just introduce yourself, tell us about you, let's meet you, and know the interesting thing about you. Then you go right into your presentation.
Okay. All right. So that means that I am taking part by giving you the answers directly without having to fill it.
Yeah, you can just you can just take them there and yeah.
Yes, I'm trying to multitask and just giving me a hard time. So let me just focus on my task. Hello, everyone. My name is Titilope of FairMoney, and I am an HR professional. Currently, I manage the people and culture of FairMoney, microfinance bank. It's a digital bank. It's based in Lagos. So yes, I'm managing a staff strength of over 400 Nigerians. But FairMoney itself has employees spread across the globe. So we have over 600 employees to date, but about 400 plus are based in Nigeria. I have been practicing HR for quite a while now. I am a generalist. This pretty much means that I cover every aspect of HR, or at least I'm able to cover every aspect. Started with recruitment, but now I'm able to delve into compliance, compensation and benefits, welfare, engagement, and the likes. So that's me in a nutshell. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Titi, for that brief, quick introduction. I think we know everything professional about you. So you'll be discussing with us leveraging compensation and benefits to improve productivity. So if you have a slide, you could share your slide and we just go straight into your presentation. And after that, we entertain questions.
Okay, all right, this works. I do have a slide. I'm just trying to open it up.
All right.
So give me a second. Yeah, so I have it here. I'm seeing that. Okay, I guess we'll learn this together. But let me share my screen right now. Okay, if you can see my screen, you can just give me a thumbs up so that I know and I can proceed further.
Yes, your
thank
screen
you.
is very visible. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So the idea was to have hopefully an interactive session. So for everyone who's here, thank you for being here, and BizEdge, thank you for inviting me. So I'm here to talk to you guys today about leveraging compensation and benefits to improve productivity. Sorry. Okay. So I also have a question, but I don't need to take a poll. I'm hoping this is where we can start interacting with each other. And my first question is, do you actually need people at your company? It's not supposed to be a rhetorical question. Maybe it sounds like it, but the question is, do you actually need people? I mean, you have a company, you built a company, or you work for somebody, even though you are a person. But now, do you guys need more people, right, to be in the organization? If you are working for a business where no, everything is computer, you don't need human beings, you're okay by yourself, now is the time to drop off the call, right? Because you might not find what I'm about to say exciting after all. But if you are a strong believer that people are an essential part of the business, they can help your business move from one level to the next level and even keep growing, then we're at the right place here. Which leads me to my next question. Why do people want to work? So why do they want to work for your organization, or why do they even want to work in the first place? Why do people wake up in the morning to go to a job that they are probably going to nag about and complain and fuss and say, I just want to live the soft life and just, automatically be taken care of? So question is, why do people want to work? This one, I'm hoping I can get a voice to tell me what their thoughts on why people decide to get a job, why people decide to work.
Okay,
Anybody
participants can unmute
Thank you.
themselves. I just had to change that. I just had to change the privilege. So participants can unmute themselves if they want to give a vocal answer to this. Or if you want to type it in the chat box, that's all right as well.
Okay, for me, I want to work. Which one are we asking? Okay, why do people want to work? Yeah, for me, my name is Jubril, and I'm happy to be here. Yeah, I want to work because I want to make impact on a higher scale, and I want to better my standard of living.
Okay, this is good. Does anybody else want to go? Okay, so I'm just going to focus on Jubril's answer so that we're managing our time. So, he wants to make impact in the world and, of course, improve his standard of living, AKA needs to be able to afford things, right? To live a comfortable life, right? So thank you, Jubril, so much for sharing that. And I'm glad that you were able to share that with us. So in order to improve your standard of living, right? This is where compensation comes in. I can't even find, sorry, are you still there? Because I can't find my Zoom all of a sudden.
Yes,
we can hear you.
Okay, great. Because now I can't even see anybody, but it's okay since you can still hear my voice. Yeah, so you want to improve your standard of living, right? Which means that you want to be compensated, right? You want to get value for the services you're bringing to the table. You're bringing certain types of services, whether for humanity, or for the job, right, for the particular employer who has a certain type of product, which still leads to humanity, but you want to be able to take care of yourself in return. So this is where compensation and benefits comes in. So why is it important? Why is it important to even discuss compensation and benefits? First of all, we need to understand what this is. Sometimes people separate these two words. They hear compensation and they strictly think, oh, this is your salary. And then we hear benefits and we strictly think this is every additional thing, aside your salary. But the two of them go hand in hand, right? So compensation and benefits are the gains, whether direct or indirect, a company provides to its employees in exchange for their service, in exchange for their labor, in exchange for their time, right? In exchange for their efforts to build this company. So the gains, and the reason I use the word gains is because it's not always financial, even though sometimes our minds think financial when we think compensation and benefits. So it is the gains, any profit for you as an individual, whether it's directly or indirectly, that a company is providing to you in exchange for your labor. Furthermore, it doesn't just end at salary, but it goes as far as what shapes the company's culture, right? So even in regards to a company presenting a certain list of compensation and benefits, this also shapes that company's culture, right? So is it a culture of, of promotions, a culture of encouragement, a culture of health, health and well-being? It shapes your culture. So if, for example, you're having an interview for a job and you ask, okay, what is compensation and benefit like? And they just tell you a salary, already you can tell, okay, this is a culture that doesn't care too much about their employees, because their only focus is you come here, you do a job, I pay you for it, you go home. That's it, right? They don't care beyond the fact that I've paid you to do this job, but yeah, be going, right? But then you go somewhere else and they tell you, oh, we have TGIF, and then we have health walks, and we do all of this. It already tells you something about that company's culture, that they go beyond just you coming to render services. They care for you as a human being, right? So even if you're an HR, you are actually an employer, and you never thought compensation and benefits was a huge deal besides just giving salary, this is like a call to action for you to understand that for other people, it is interpreted completely differently. It is interpreted as you care beyond just the work that I'm coming to do for you. You care for me as a human being. You actually want to do something beyond just what you have assigned me to do here. You want to change the world, right? And you want me to support you in this journey. So as employers, it's important that we take this into consideration, that working out a fantastic compensation benefit structure can make a huge difference in making your company culture attractive to other talents that you're trying to attract, trying to get them to join your organization. That said, it's important that we now kind of dissect the advantages of a good compensation and benefit policy. First thing is, it makes you attractive to your ideal type of talent, right? They hear about your company culture, the things you do for your employees, the things you provide for them, and then other people want to work with you. And it's not now just everybody, because you can't hire everybody, but even the top talent, the people that can transform your business positively, are also now interested to be part of your organization. People that you are probably finding hard to poach or to convince to come and join your organization and help it grow, now they're attracted because they're like, you're doing these things for your people, and we're hearing these great things. I also want to be part of it, because they also want something good in their life, right? So the first advantage is it makes you as an employer attractive to your talent. And of course, it improves productivity. I mean, this is why we're here. We're trying to figure out how to leverage compensation and benefits to improve productivity. How does it improve productivity? You're giving employees more than just their salary. You're showing that you care beyond just a monthly, or beyond just that one day of the month where you credit their account and say, you have worked for this month, good job. Oh yeah, let's do it again next month, right? People are gingered, people are motivated, right? Their morale gets high because they're always looking forward to what next you can present to them. They already know, okay, these are the different policies, these are the different compensation and benefit policies. And now I don't only have to wait for that one day each month, right, to have a smile on my face. Because we know when salary enters like this, people are smiling. Even if you have debt to pay and your account will be back to zero, the fact is something has even entered, first of all, to help you reduce your liability. You're already smiling on that day that, thank you, Jesus, that I even have a job that I can get paid from, right? But what if your benefits go beyond that one day? You have several other days that you are keeping your employees smiling. And we already know what a long way a smile can go, right? What transformations a smile can do when someone has it on their face, to themselves and to other people. So of course, it automatically improves their productivity because they are now eager to do the work because of the rewards that they will get at the end of the job done. And of course, it gives your business a competitive edge, right? Because at this point now, people are looking at you as an employer of choice. And then people are probably considering leaving their current place of work to come over to work with this particular employer that has a fantastic culture, cares for their people beyond just the monthly salary. And it makes you now much more competitive because now other companies are looking at you and wanting to take a page out of your book saying, what is this company doing better? Sometimes you might hear conversations about people saying, I want to work for Google, I want to work for Netflix. There's so many other international companies, so many other international brands, but for some reason, where they current something better, and that already is enough motivation. Not thinking too deep into the fact that if you don't perform well, you're out the door. So in regards to job security, it might not be as secure if you are someone who is too relaxed on the job and doesn't like to challenge yourself, right? But the first thing in mind is more of a, how do they compensate their individuals? How do they compensate their employees? This is where I want to be, right? Before you consider all the other things about what might make it a tough place to work at. And in the long haul, having a good compensation and benefit policy inspires happy customers. This is every establishment's end goal. You want to increase your clientele base. You want your customers to be happy. You want them to come back. You want them to give you repeat service, right? If you are able to make your employees happy, you compensate them well, they feel like you care for their well-being, right? They will translate this to your customers as well. When they're taking care of your customers, when they're relating with your customers, they're doing this from a place of genuine consideration, right? My employer is considering me, the product is absolutely amazing. So I can now go out there and convince other people too that you should definitely buy into this, right? This is not my father's company, but for me to be selling it like this, it's because it is beyond, it's beyond ordinary. It goes the extra mile to make sure that we are giving you value for your money, right? So definitely a good compensation benefits policy even goes all the way down past the employee to like external people, right? Whether it's the employee's family members, whether it's his customers, it goes all the way down there just because you as an employer, you took very good care of your employees. So another opportunity to do a bit of a pop quiz. So what would you say makes for a good compensation and benefits? You know, off the top of your head, what things come to mind? What things come to mind when you're thinking compensation and benefits? Feel free to unmute or to share in the chat room. Anything that comes to mind at all. I know you are not the facilitator, so you might think you don't have all the answers, but this is a personal topic, and it hits home better when you.
Hello, please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Faith.
Okay. So as for me, what makes a good compensation and benefits is salary and welfare.
Okay, thank you, Faith. Titi, did you get that?
Should I repeat myself?
No, I heard you clearly. Yeah, we heard you clearly, Faith. You said salary and welfare, right? Yes. Okay. I'll just put that
Yes,
in the chat
yes.
box. Thank you very much, Faith. I think we've lost TT. She is muted. Just give her some seconds
Hi.
to get. Okay. TT, we can hear you now.
Yes, thank you so much. Apologies. I didn't realize that I was talking to myself for some time. But can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. So someone gave
Awesome.
a vocal comment. She said
Okay.
that's Faith. So Faith said salary and welfare.
Okay. As many people as I'm not sure if my screen is. You can still see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see your screen.
It's a very weird day because I keep asking if you can see my screen. As many of you that can go online and share this, I wouldn't mind. If you could just go to menti.com, menti.com, and put in that code. And just share your responses. So whatever you think makes a good compensation and benefits, what benefits do you find enticing, whether in your current place of work or at a friend, family, or you just heard about it on the internet, and you think it makes sense. Please feel free to share. Anybody else? Very, very quiet audience.
Okay, you're getting a live feedback from those who are feeling this, right?
Yes, so that everyone can see it together. So the code is in the chat room. For those of you who are not able to open it, it's 83780511.
Okay. So I think we are navigating over there, and you'll be seeing answers shortly as you progress.
Okay. Awesome. Yes, answers are coming in. Thank you very much. They're coming in. Nice. I see work-life integration. I see mortgage, loan, status vehicle. Flexible working hours. So this is good. And as it keeps coming in, I'm just going to keep talking at this point. So thank you for those of you that have shared your thoughts. I do appreciate it, and I love what I'm seeing. And this just goes back to what I was already talking about earlier when I said that some of these benefits can be directly or indirectly. So directly meaning you're getting your salary, it's going into your pocket. Indirectly means I'm paying for your health insurance, right? You're not getting the cash in your pocket, but if you go to a clinic, they will attend to you because this is a benefit that I have provided to you. Even like pension, right? You don't get the pension there and then. Your RSA gets credited, right? Your savings account, your retirement savings account gets credited, but you don't have access to it in the immediate. But at least when you retire, when you possibly already left this organization and gone on to many, many others, right? The kind consideration that they had shared with you would still be something you can access to when you are much, much, much older. And I know sometimes there's a debate on what is considered a benefit or what should not be considered a benefit. Sometimes I hear people say health insurance is statutory, pension is statutory, so organizations should not mention it as a benefit. Just because it's statutory doesn't mean it is not still a benefit. It still falls under compensation and benefit, just like your salary. You do an interview and it's agreed that this is how much I will pay you. But then the organization will still say this is the benefit of being with us, because another organization might give you less. We are giving you this amount, or we're giving you this plus these other allowances, right? So it still makes for, for an item to be recorded as a compensation and benefit. Same with pension, right? Because it is the benefit of working with this organization that you get this retirement savings. And in regards to HMO, health insurance, the fact that there are different types of health insurance policies and there are different health clinics, right? Different hospitals. But then your organization is particular about the type of hospital they want you to visit or the type of tests they want you to have access to. Because even with HMOs, there are limits to what you can do. There are limits to your cover. But then the organization goes the extra mile and says, hey, include maternity benefits so that when the person wants to have a child, it is on us, right? Some other organizations don't do that. So yes, you have health insurance, you have cough, you have catarrh, go to hospital. But now your organization has taken it a step further to include some additional stuff. Even life insurance, right? So someone mentioned life assurance. And this reminds me of group life, right? It's a statutory thing as well, right? But it is still a benefit. And in addition to that, like for me, for example, I was able to get something beyond just the cover of when we lose an employee, right? So now the cover that we have includes the spouse of the employee and further includes maternity benefits. So on my end, we are able to work out something whereby, in the event that any of these employees, while living, should put to bed, we're able to give them, a small gift, thanks to the relationship with the life assurance partner. That's an additional benefit that they didn't have to have, right? But that was included, right? Time off rewards. Time off is not even financial, right? But it is a benefit in the sense that you're caring for the well-being of your employees. You're saying that I want you to rest sometimes, right? You're not here every single day, slaving away, but then take some time off, right? Whether you're taking vacation days, extended vacation days. So if it is 6, if it is 10, if it is 20, if it's 30, you have access to do this as many times in the year, right? But obviously not to exceed the total amount. And then you can introduce some other benefits. In my organization, beginning of this year, we're able to introduce the 4-month maternity benefits, right? Typically, it used to be 3 months, but we were able to introduce 4, just like the new wave of the 4 came into conversation. And it's been successful. We also introduced a few other benefits as well, like marriage leave, wedding leave, work anniversary, like day off, right? We're saying you worked for us, you've done a year, you've done 2, you've done 3, you can take this day that marks your anniversary of joining us off, right? Just to relax and say, I've worked for this company. And how much does that cost us? I mean, we're going to spread our productivity amongst the rest of the team while you take that one day off. But this is just us appreciating you, right? So this is just to go back to the fact that while some things are monetary, fuel allowance is monetary, you have to give them the funds to do this. There's some other things too that are still considered benefits just for being part of the organization. That doesn't necessarily mean putting the money directly in the employee's pocket. However, they will still appreciate it all the same. So yes, in a nutshell, just re-emphasizing what I just said, what makes for good compensation and benefits a mixture of financial and non-financial offerings, right? So if your organization is not very buoyant in regards to money and how much you can give or how much financial benefits you can give, the fuel allowances, the 13th month, the passage, the upkeep, the entertainment allowance, things like that. You can find other creative benefits, creative ways to introduce suitable benefits that your employees will appreciate. And how can you also do this too? It's important to get feedback, right? It's important to ask these questions. Excuse me. It's important to ask these questions. It won't make any sense for you to introduce a benefit that people feel like they will not benefit from. If I was to introduce a maternity leave benefit in my organization, and I worked in a company where they are predominantly male, there is barely anyone benefiting from it, right? Because almost everybody is a guy. But I introduced a maternity benefit, and in some other organizations, they would praise me for it. But based on the people that I have, it doesn't work for them, right? So it's important that you get feedback from your people on what the company, the organization can introduce, right, to improve, the morale on the team, to improve their productivity. Ask them and see how you can implement some of these things. And once you do, it gets them excited. It makes them happier. It keeps them motivated. And on the job, it's easier for them, right, to deliver. I want to share one more quiz, if you will let me.
Of course, go ahead.
Perfect. So it's my last slide, don't worry. So I know we're running out of time already, which is fine. So this is me now using the opportunity to ask those in my organization, that's those of us on this call, what do your employees care about the most out of these options? It might be something outside of here, but what do your employees care about out of these options? So the new code to use now, if you are ready, it's 12, 28, 40, 78. It's 12, 28, 40, 78. $12, 28, 40, 78. So from your interactions with your team members, or even you as an employee, right? What do you care about the most? If your organization was going to offer anything to you, or offer all of this on the platter of gold and say, you know what, you can only go home with one, or pick the one that will keep you motivated or and make you produce on the job, what would it be, right? So whether personal to you or your team, if you are like in a position like HR or an employer, what is it that your employees have told you that they care about? And it's okay if you don't know this already, if you've not had these conversations. This is just now another call to action, saying that you should go and have this conversation, right? Don't assume that this is what they want and you introduce something that they won't be interested in. You want to introduce free lunch in the office, but then you are a completely hybrid team. Everybody's working from home, right? There's going to be lunch in the office, but nobody's eating it. And if nobody's eating it, that is not boosting their morale just because you thought about that idea that they cannot benefit from, right? So how is this a benefit? If the idea, if the activity is compensation and benefit, how are they benefiting from it if they're not physically there to enjoy the initiative that you have put down? So not to take too much more of your time, so far for those that have voted, most people say that employees care most about professional development. So if you're in an organization where you know that most of the feedback you're getting is in regards to professional growth, I'm not saying the others don't have any voice. You can do it, but you don't have to spend so much time on it because now you've gotten feedback from your team and they're saying that most of them want to just level up, right? They want to grow, which means that now you want to invest in training and development. So either you have a training budget so that you can actually help these people grow. And the beautiful thing about this particular choice that you guys have chosen is this is the one that most impacts productivity. Because if someone is giving you 50%, and you invest in training them, it translates to 70%, it translates to 80, 90, and then they're giving you their best because now you've equipped them with the right knowledge, skills, competence to actually do the job, right? So now you know, okay, it's very important that I invest in training here. Alternatively, you know, you're trying to manage funds, there's not a huge budget. You can hire someone who can do these trainings, right? There's some people that are skilled to be able to take a number of soft skill trainings because their role is to be able to do this research on certain topics, understand it, probably rub shoulders with other people who are experts in this field so that they can come back to the organization and present the key points to the team to make sure that they're able to deliver better on the job. So to round up, it's important that you get feedback from your team to know what it is that they will ideally like, the things that will boost their productivity. And it's also very, very important that we take compensation and benefits very seriously. Most, if not all, employees spend more time working or at the office than with their family, bonding and growing with. So if someone is going to spend so many hours of the day with you for more days of the week, right? 5 days versus 2 days with their family. It's important that we invest in them better and we support them better so that at the end of the day, it hopefully improves retention. And that will be all from me for now. Thank you so much for listening to me. If there are any questions, please let me know.
Thank you very much, Titi. Please, can we just show some energy in the chat box there, like clapping, and let's give our feedback in the chat box there. So as we do that, thank you very much, Titi. You really had us glued to our screen and making sure that we heard every word that you said, and also making this session interactive, the polls which we had. Yeah, a lot of people are looking at leveling up, professional growth, and some also still look at their health and wellness, you know, a place whereby you can work and you know that physically you are being cared for. So thank you very much for also bringing that out. And the advantages to compensation and benefit which you outlined earlier at the start of your presentation. So I want to say a very big thank you. So now we'll be taking questions. So if you have questions and maybe you want to unmute, you could just raise up your hand using the raise up hand button, and I'll call on you from here, and we can ask our questions, or you can just put them in the chat box and we'll take those questions, your questions. So we'll try to answer as many as possible as our time can permit. So please, let's ask away. I'll be scrolling through now the chat to look for questions. And if there's something you want to add, okay, this comment says, though I joined late, sadly, I appreciate the perspective provided to show the weight, yes, towards retention. Yeah, that's one interesting point which I also penned down too. So I have a question which has been reserved, or let's say I have questions which have been reserved as we await questions from our participants in the chat box. So are you with us, Titi? So
yes, I'm still here.
Okay, great. So my question goes this way: for a company that is starting up, there is this aspect of employee stock option. So they tell you that maybe they want you to come over as a CTO or COO, or you know, executive level, or maybe they're just having their team and basically they're bootstrapping. So how can startups work with the employee stock option? How can they leverage on this and do it the right way?
So I would say every startup is unique. There are some startups that from the get-go, they are able to give out stock options based on whatever it is that they've raised or whatever their option policies. There are some others that, you know, maybe after a certain period of time, then you'll be eligible to the options. And there's some organizations where not everybody gets access to the options, right? So in this case, I mean, in my response, I will say everyone is unique. So I can't tell you how to leverage on this because it just really has to do with what your startup's policy is. In our case, I mean, we have stock options as well for our employees. Not every single employee, because we are also like, growing in this business in regards to this. And what we try to do is, first of all, we educate everybody about what the stock options are like. We let them, understand how they can vest their options and what times they're able to do this. And just pretty much make it open, right? It's not a secret. You know how many options you have, the periods you can vest it, and you can always come out to say, hey, I would like to vest all or some of my options at a certain period of time. How we make sure that, we're able to leverage on it is by educating our employees, making sure that they understand what it is, so that, the confusion doesn't get them demoralized that you gave me something I don't even know how to use or what to use. Instead, the education or the knowledge keeps them motivated to even, going back to retention, want to stay longer because they want their options to keep increasing. They want more money to keep coming in from the option that started with just, one option to 50 naira. Now it's one option to 500. So education is the route that at least we take.
Okay, thank you very much for that insight there. So depending on the will I say the financial stability of the company or its policy, then but employees can make use of this. So it helps with retention, because some companies will say you are eligible maybe after a year or two,
Yeah.
and then maybe you start exercising its rights after a year or two after you've gotten this option. So we have a question here. This is from
Joshua.
Yes. So it says, how do you suggest local companies compete with geographical pay differentials when foreign companies are snapping up local talents? That's one question. Then another one is, in switching jobs, some companies don't provide full details of benefits for varied reasons. How do you think candidates can approach this at salary negotiations? Maybe when it's time to talk about benefits, how do you, I won't use the word coerce, how would you bring it out from those on the panel? Like, you want to know what's in for me now if I join you guys. So let's start with the first one, the varied salary structure.
Yes.
With our guys overseas and local. How do we?
Yeah. So how do local companies compete with people, I mean, multinationals that, they are taking their talent, and the pay differential is quite large. It's by your offerings and also how you take care of your people. This is now also going to your company's culture, right? Some of these multinationals have over thousands of employees, and so they might not know each person by name. While on your end, you have a small neat team, and, just by calling someone's name, I mean, sometimes people are amazed in my office that I know so many people's names, and I'm confused. I'm like, am I not supposed to know your name? I mean, we hired you, so I should know. Maybe now I'm realizing I must have a really good memory when it comes to names. Maybe that's what it is. And these people are trying to make it like a big deal, but it's also my job, right? So just that little me knowing your name already makes people feel like they're included, right? And they're cared for beyond just them coming to do the job. Celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, someone just had a baby, you send them a message, showing that extra care. While the salary might not be that big, some people you can tap into their emotional side, right? Tap into their emotional side, do the fun activities, the fun games, not the ones that you necessarily have to go out for, but even within the team, once in a while, buy pizza in the office, just to boost morale. Already, it will be hard for them to even look outside. So except the foreign ones are not already sending, job requests into their inboxes, they on their own are not actively looking for new roles. They are passive candidates. If someone reaches out to me, great. If they don't reach out to me, I'm not intentionally looking for a new organization, because where I am, I'm fine. And then this whole illusion of job security, right? For those that are thinking now, where I am, they genuinely care for me, and they're showing this, and I'm sure I can stay here for another 2-3 years. If I go somewhere else, I will be 1 in 1,000 which means at any point I can easily be forgotten or even just kicked off, right? When they are claiming redundancy and they need to reduce the weight, right? So certain things like this might come into people's minds. So it's important that you work on your culture, a culture of inclusion, a culture of engagement, engage your team, show them that you care so that they don't even start looking outside and wondering what all those salary or pay differentials are. And in regards to switching jobs, but then you don't really know the full details about benefits, you might not know 100% the full details, but you can still learn a few. If you research this company on social media, see some things that they post about, if they post about their culture, you can get a glimpse of how they care about their people, what they do for their people. If every time it's only products they are posting and there's nowhere else you can see about their culture, you should already know that for them, it's always business. It's hard to even find, a smiling moment, but do you want to go somewhere where they're not involved in you? It's just come, work, collect all of the salary, and that's good enough. There's some people like that. They don't need to be friends with anybody in the office. So even when the company says, oh, we're doing TGIF, they won't be there. They say my colleagues are not my friends, right? So for those kind of people, they don't really care about all the additional benefits as long as the pay is enough. While there are some others that want you to show that you care. I don't mind if you buy pizza for us today, or we do some team bonding, we do Jenga, we play cards, right? So you want to research about this company, go online, go on their social media handles, see the things that go around, all the hashtags of these organizations. You will see that to learn a bit about some of the things they do. You can also reach out to current or past employees. What are some of the benefits you currently enjoy in this organization, right? What is it like? What do you guys do? What do you guys do in regards to HMO? What is pension like? What is, training and development like? And then when you get to the interview, right, either you ask this question before or after, but at least in the place of the interview, you can also ask these questions, right? Salary negotiation strictly talks about the money you're collecting in your pocket, right? But then you can ask about other benefits. You can say, oh, what HMO provider do you use, right? You use AXA, do you use Reliance? You can just ask generally, right? Maybe from experience or because someone else told you these organizations, give the best services. You can ask, oh, how often do you and your team go out? What is training and development like? When was the last time you trained your team members or each team member was trained? What was the topic on? These are questions about benefits, right? And then you can go on to the salary part. In regards to salary negotiation, this is how I see it. If you don't have that much experience, right? You've not worked. There's nothing to negotiate. This is how I see it. Someone else might say differently. If you've not worked anywhere else, right? You don't have a base salary you're coming from, there's nothing to negotiate, right? Whatever it is they want to give you, it's either you can take it or you can't take it. If the company says it's 10K we want to pay, and you're thinking, 10K for a graduate, then keep working. There's no negotiation here. It doesn't work for you, be going. But if you feel like, oh, it's a stepping stone, at least it's better than nothing, it will pay for my transport, and it will at least give me the opportunity to start getting some experience, then you tell them, okay, no problem, I shake your hand, or you let them know, honestly and sincerely saying, I can take this, I really want to work here. However, I do want to mention I'm coming from Aja, and you guys are based in Shomolu, and already cost of transportation is going to cost me about 3,000 each day. 3,000 times 20 days of the working week equals to 60K. I know you said 50, but I don't mind if you can consider increasing it to a 60K so I can cover my transportation to come here every day. You've already done your math, so your negotiation is making sense. There's a reason you are calling this amount. But then if you've already acquired experience, right, you already have a salary from where you're coming from, you are doing it based on that, right? So you want to present something else to me, but I don't want you to present something lower than what I am currently earning or what I last earned, which means that it's forward ever, backward never. You're either, giving me something higher than this, because besides the fact that this is what I earn, where I'm coming from, the value I'm bringing to the table, I'm not coming in as a fresh intake. All these questions you've asked me, I've given you the answer. I also know about this, I know about that, I know about this. I'm bringing this to your, to your organization, even though you didn't ask me, but I know it's something you need. This one already boosts, your persona, that even if it was 150 they were going to give you, and you've said all these amazing things, and you are fine with 180, and you say, okay, you know, for what I'm bringing to the table and the new initiatives, you know, 200 would be ideal. And they've spoken to other people that cannot give them the same talk that you're giving. They will increase that budget for you because they don't want to lose you. So at that point, it doesn't even have to be a banter. It's more of you have been able to express the value you will bring, and they can see that they can't get that same from anybody else. If I can't get it from anybody else, it is you I want. If it is you I want, I will bend over backwards to make it work, because if I end up hiring the person that will take the 150 from me and the person doesn't do a fantastic job as you said you would have done, I will still end up sending that person away and coming back to look for you. Right? So when it comes to salary negotiations, it's not as tricky as people think it is. First thing is, if you don't have that much experience anywhere, there's nothing to negotiate. Again, this is my view, but honestly, I feel like there's nothing to negotiate. Instead, what you should be looking for is the opportunity to get that experience. Now you have the experience. Now you have something to sell to them, right? Now you're a big deal. And this is when you can easily say, at this point, I'm at this level. It's either you are going to consider me or not. And if they're not considering you, it is not your loss. It is not your loss, because you don't want them to pretend to want to consider you, and when you come there, you realize that where you're coming from, you're better off, even though the money here is more, right? You want them to consider you with their full chest. So when you come in, it's not only the money that looks good, but everything else is making sense. No regrets. So that's my feedback in regards to approaching salary negotiation.
All right, thank you very much, Titi. You spent. Joshua said full chest. You spent a while there. I think you had to like really break it down. Yes, like the POV of the employee and the POV of the employer. So when it comes to that meeting where you have to sit across the table, and let's talk about the numbers now. Okay, though I have a follow-up question to that question. I don't know if you can just touch it briefly. Okay. Now, the follow-up question is this. You know, he asked that some companies don't disclose all their compensation and benefits for varied reasons. Right. Like, what could be the reason? Because a company could be offering free transportation using any of the taxi companies in the country to and fro every day. And people don't know. Is until you get in there, then you hear that maybe some people some people have that benefit assigned to them, or it's open for everyone. But even in the recruitment process, you won't see it on the job post. So why do you have that?
So people have different reasons for not sharing it. Some just don't see the point. So why do I share it? Some others, it might vary in different places. So like, I work for a global company and we have different sites, and our benefits are different for the different sites. So there are some benefits that are obtainable in Nigeria that are not, like they don't do anything about it, you know, in some other sites, right? So in Latvia, they do quarterly team bonding events because there's like 10 employees there, while I have 400 in Nigeria, right? So instead they would just do their monthly events rather than also do a quarterly, right? So there will be no point in me putting every single benefit there for every role, except I now want to specify it. And the application we're using is a general application, right? That just tells you about the company in general. So we might not list every single benefit. We might list the ones that are reoccurring in all the countries. That's our choice. Some other people don't see any need to put it there. They feel during the conversation to come up, I will share. Some others, they want to toot their horn. They want the entire world to know that they are giving spousal benefits, which means I'm not only paying you salary, I'm even paying your husband and wife.
And that was interesting.
They will make the announcement. So to each his own. People have different reasons why they want to share it. Well, there are some that want to be secretive. Some feel like this is my own competitive advantage. If I put it out there that these are all the benefits I'm giving, another company is just going to come, copy and paste, and then make it harder for me to get talent. Right?
Okay.
I'm just going to make it a secret. Don't tell the world what's happening, so that I can keep attracting people. They keep telling their friends without me putting it in black and white. But guess what? When you do that, some of us will apply just to do our own research, see what you're doing, and, you know, learn from it. So I mean, there's always creative ways to figure this out, but this is why some people don't share it. And then there's some others that they just don't have any, and they're an open slate. So it's either I'm willing to embrace new benefits. So as I'm interviewing you and you're telling me what you like, it's something the company will eventually introduce, or we just don't do anything beyond just salary and, full allowance for sales team. That's all we do. And there'll be no point in putting these two things, then we will now look funny. They'll be like, only those two. That's it. So maybe it's from a place of shyness or shame, or just feeling like, if I put it out there, people might use it to yab us. Different people have their different reasons. But then for those that want to tell the world, they are confident about it and they don't care if you like it or not. This is just what they're offering. And it's good for the world to know, so that the people that they're trying to attract will come as soon as they call them.
Thank you so much, Titi, on that. So I think I got the reasons there, for the competitive edge, and at the same time, some don't really have that in their purse, in their budget, so they can't just see everything they can do. So there's a question which is specific to the tech environment here. So JB is asking, from your experience, from your research, what kind of benefit would entice the tech bro or the tech sis to come work at a tech company? So probably he's starting up a tech firm or something like that. So what's the ideal compensation? Let's start from the basics for tech bros and tech sis.
All right. So hopefully this is the last question. So I don't keep you guys any longer. Number one, flexible work. Yeah. You would think it's supposed to be like, status quo, everybody should know now. There are some people that still don't make work flexible. They don't have a flexible working structure. Tech bros and tech sis, or even people in the tech space, right? They want that flexibility. Can I work from home today? Can I, work some days in the office, some days at home, some days from wherever else? They want that flexibility. Because also these kinds of people, especially those who are developers, I mean, they work at any time of the day. Some are like, night owls. They would rather code when it's dark. Some they code when it's daytime. So if you give someone a concrete hour 9 to 5 and tell them to come into an office, you're not getting their best self. You're not. Someone is more productive at night and you're not restricting them to a 9 to 5, right? So give them the opportunity to be flexible, right? You give them milestones they need to reach, and all they need to do is reach it. Whatever time you want to use to do it, but reach this weekly goal or daily goal. So give them that flexibility. It's very enticing when they know that you don't make the work on site. It's not compulsorily on site, but it's flexible. Tech people also like stock options, right? So they want to be involved in the business. They want to know that this product I'm building, I have a stake in it. I have an ownership in it. Part of it is my doing, right? My hands, the code that I put together is what has given you this product for the end user. So stock options is also something that I know that can be enticing. Then because of the market we're in, paying in foreign currency. Those are the three main things I can think about. They obviously know that, their colleagues are able to get paid in foreign currency. There are tech people that are sitting in Nigeria and working for so many foreign brands. The restriction has gone off. I mean, the world is now, it's not now, the world has always been global, but now like the marketplace is global. You don't have to be in Nigeria and only work for a Nigerian company. You can be in Nigeria and work for a company in Afghanistan. It works, and it's super easier for the tech people. It's not easy for a doctor. You can't be in Nigeria and be treating a patient in Canada. It doesn't work, right? But for the tech people, it works. And if you have colleagues that are getting such jobs and are getting paid in the currency of the company that's employed them, their eye will soon start, doing somehow. They too, they want the same. So this is something too that they find enticing. Am I saying your organization is going to do it? Not necessarily. Just letting you know that these are some of the things that do come up within the tech bros and sisters.
Thank you so much, Titi, for wrapping up on our Q&A. So yes, we've really learned a lot, and if we could keep you here for another hour, of course, we'll still keep on learning. So we want to say a very big thank you to you for giving us that time to discuss with our community and to answer these questions. So we are grateful for this platform, which is brought to you by BizEdge. So BizEdge is an all-in-one business management suite where you manage all your operations, basic business routine operations, which you do every day, from HR to payroll to accounting to asset management, vehicle management, and the likes. Yeah, of course, some of our listeners might want to contact you sometime, maybe, to ask questions and all. So if you are social or you're active somewhere else, how can they reach you? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Instagram? So you could do that chat by putting that in the chat box. Yeah. So she's active on LinkedIn as a Titilope Akirili. So you can just reach out over there and connect and ask her questions, and she would attend to you and answer these questions. And also, we are also social too. If you have questions to ask and all of that, okay, yeah, a professional touch to your invite. That would be nice. Yeah, so you don't just come big and say, hi, I want to connect. So she knows who she's connecting with. Okay, all right, so please let's do that when we're trying to send our invites. Okay, so she has to run. Thank you very much, Titi, for joining us this evening. We are super, super grateful. So to the rest of our audience, this is what we do every month, and this is the 10th edition for this month. For this year, 2022. And next month, we hope to have another edition whereby we bring another professional to discuss another interesting topic. So please, if you check us out on our social media pages on Instagram at BizedgeApp, and also on Twitter, and also on LinkedIn at BizedgeApp. We're very much active there. And yeah, you can follow up on our resources and also visit our blog.bizedgeapp.com, where you can read interesting articles to help with business management and other shenanigans as regards business. So till we come your way next month, we want you to remain blessed, and thanks for staying with us. Bye-bye.